And the light looks really good, so I can hang it out.
Top three.
Oh, sorry. It's...
I might need to do this one.
Okay.
I think it's almost the right length.
Goes around.
Like all bow ties, you just snap
Yeah,
it
I
up
love
and
that.
back, and then it's done.
It's the easiest bow tie ever.
What they want.
Okay.
Okay, and
I was mad at these fine.
Yeah.
Did we win?
I think we won.
Are we leaving stuff here until after?
Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We shouldn't know.
You're submitting to this, right?
I think so.
Okay. You might want to button me up first.
No, I'm measuring.
Okay. Of course you are. You're an engineer. That's what you do.
Setting up the
Auto.
altars.
I gotcha.
Score. I think that's not technical.
I don't think I've ever had you fix my collar before.
I think I've had you fix my collar
Oh, I know I have.
on 32 occasions or so.
At least.
Oh, we don't fancy dresses much.
No, you didn't. We were just at the FDA. Did you fix it?
I know, right? So good.
Oh,
So I'm gonna give you 4 to hold
Okay.
on to. Here. I'm gonna give you 4.
Cool.
Do you want me to get you started and then you guys can do each other? Okay, so.
Cut the green wire.
Cut the green one.
And I just ignore the button now, right?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
The button's still important.
But it's not going through anything.
Correct. Yeah, it's not going
It's
through the top
moral
layer.
support.
Yeah, it's moral support.
You
Here
have
you go.
extra buttons now for your buttoning.
Oh,
Buttons.
button. Yeah.
Alright. Done. Oh, now
Is
I
everybody
watch
done
Clue.
eating?
You could watch
Back up
Clue
to-
instead of like getting
Yeah.
photos.
Yes.
That's true.
Oh.
Or we could get married.
We have projectors. We could have Clue after the finish.
I guess so.
Dun, 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 dun.
Alright, so you gotta unbutton.
I do need more Tim Curry.
Yes. Alright, come on, here this way.
Okay.
Let's see.
And scene.
Let's see.
If only you could rent a wedding dress for $100.
Turn this way for us.
Yeah. I mean, you're like reasonable. Here's your dog. That's what I thought in my head.
Start.
Welcome, friends and family. My name is Doug Cloud, and I'm honored today to officiate the wedding of Harry and Brian. Please take this opportunity to silence your cell phones. You can also use this time to reflect on the fact that it's been on silent for 10 years, and you can't remember what your ringtone even is. We're going to begin our joyful ceremony with a reading from Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22. I'm kidding. We're actually going to begin with a reading from the 2015 United States Supreme Court case, Obergefell v. Hodges, which brought same-sex marriage to all 50 states. The couple has requested that I omit a 70-minute history of same-sex marriage in the United States, and I will oblige. Melanie Vravel Adams, a close friend of the groom's, will read from the writing of Justice Anthony Kennedy.
No union is more profound than marriage, for it embodies the highest ideals of love, fidelity, devotion, sacrifice, and family. In forming a marital union, two people become something greater than once they were. As some of the petitioners in these cases demonstrate, marriage embodies a love that may endure even past death. It would misunderstand these men and women to say they disrespect the idea of marriage. Their plea is that they do respect it so deeply that they seek to find its fulfillment for themselves. Their hope is not to be condemned to live in loneliness, excluded from one of the civilization's oldest institutions. They ask for equal dignity in the eyes of the law. The Constitution grants them that right. In the words of Maya Angelou, love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles, leaps fences, penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope. Harry and Brian, you're an incredible couple. Your love and respect for each other is clear. The number of people here today is a testament to how much love and joy you bring into our lives. We wish you a lifetime of happiness together. Love is love is love.
Y'all can go ahead and just sit down. It's okay. It's just fine. Except for the grooms, that was their choice. At religious weddings, the minister or priest usually makes some general comments about the nature of love, what makes a good marriage, and if they know them, the couple. I am not a priest. I am not a minister. Indeed, I'm not an expert on love. Although a priest once confided in me that he wasn't so sure as to how he was an expert on love either. But I've dated plenty, and I've had the joy of knowing the couple for many years, so I will do my best. I think we have to acknowledge that there's a sense of uncertainty in the air these days. I won't say why it's there, because you already know. Maybe I've been spending too much time watching The Handmaid's Tale, but I don't feel as at ease about being a queer person as I once did, and certainly not as at ease as I would feel were this President Laura Rosland's second term. When you're fighting Cylons, things seem so much simpler. But in our reality, things have felt a little bit more complicated, a little bit meaner, a little bit scarier than they did just a few years ago. Harry and Brian, you're marrying in a time of uncertainty. We're not sure where our country, our nation, our culture is going. And it isn't just political uncertainty either. One hears millennials and Gen Xers wondering aloud about the value of marriage as an institution. We, by which I mean queer people, fought so hard to get same-sex marriage that some of us didn't stop until we got it to ask, what does this big, old, stodgy institution mean for us? Many of our parents divorced. Some of us came from marriages that endured, but in which we had a hard time seeing ourselves. It was sometimes hard to see ourselves because gay people rarely have gay parents, although some of us are lucky enough to have gay uncles. Also, roles and traditions have changed. People are marrying later, many people not at all. Relationships look different. I once got a tour of a friend's apartment, and he showed me with some trepidation how he and his partner kept separate bedrooms. I thought it was kind of appealing in a Victorian sort of way. Very retro. "It keeps us from murdering each other," he said. I hesitated for a minute because there's that voice inside of you, and I think it's a voice of expectation that says, is there something wrong with this relationship because it looks so different to me? But no, on further thought, they figured out that their relationship was their relationship, not their parents and not their grandparents, although in this case it may have been their grandparents, accepting that both were men. But I digress. We were talking about social upheaval, and I was doing my best to politicize Harry and Brian's wedding. Some people have separate bedrooms. Others use those bedrooms to house cats. Some people seem to be doing what works for them and their partners and their cats. And I think that's for the better. But there's no denying that we're off script here. You can read that in an apocalyptic way if you want. Gender roles are changing. Family values are no longer a thing because gay marriage, I guess. I don't really have a lot of taste for that kind of talk, as you might imagine. And I wonder what kind of values are so brittle and so weak and so ephemeral that they can't adjust to meet the future when it arrives. Yes, change can be scary. We're stepping through the Stargate into the unknown. But it's also liberating. There's an opportunity. Making our own way means that we get to look around at the people we care about and decide what really matters to us and why. Harry and Brian, when I look at you two, I feel further along in my journey to understand what really matters and why. Let me tell you all what I have learned from watching Harry and Brian over many years in 3 stories. I can't really remember how I met Brian exactly. I think it might have been through a mutual friend. It was 10 years ago. He was always looking for people who might want to play Frisbee in Shenley Park. I cannot throw a Frisbee, Brian. He has great taste in sci-fi, although I never did quite get Farscape. Sorry again, Brian. Years later, after Harry and Brian had started dating, a group of us went on vacation together in the Outer Banks in North Carolina at summer's end. I was on the academic job market, and it was a dark time for me for other reasons, too. The bit I remember most about that vacation happened in about 2/3 of a second. It was one of those interstitial moments, if you want to get fancy, which I always do. So it's a blustery September evening in a rented house not far from the beach, and you can hear the waves. It's that wonderful, lonesome, end-of-season feeling in vacation town, USA. We're sitting on the deck, and I'm pulling a jacket around my shoulders, and I'm watching Brian help Harry untangle a kite string. I realize at some point that I am becoming vicariously frustrated. Untangle that kite string, damn it! I shake my head because this is a ridiculous thing to be feeling. And then I really let go because of the look that crosses Brian's face. It's love. I don't mean that in the sense of adoration or something soppy, although I'm sure all of that is there. But one of my favorite things about Brian is how matter-of-fact he is. He's not sugary, he's not saccharine. What I was seeing on his face was a tender patience. Love doesn't have to be loud and public and on social media to be grand, and in fact, I think it's a little grander for being none of those things. I said before that I'm not an expert on it, but that night I felt closer to understanding it because I'd seen it flit by. In the years since, I have tried always to seek out people who bring out that look, those feelings in me, and return them. Patience, care, a sense of going easy. Thank you, Brian, for letting me see that in one of my darker hours. When I first met Harry back in the fall of 2010, I think he had just joined Steel City Volleyball League. He threw me for a loop. Nobody's that nice. It's all a put on. Something is wrong with this man. He's probably an axe murderer or something. But I was wrong about the put on and the axe murderer thing, I'm pretty sure. Harry really does just have a deep, abiding love and empathy for other humans, and more importantly, cats. Go to one of their get-togethers and you'll see what I'm talking about. And in all likelihood, you'll also see 2 to 3 episodes of Star Trek Voyager before the night is out. Harry likes people for who they are. He brings people in. And look at the rewards. Look at the terrific and fascinating people you see in his orbit. It's a rare and special quality, Harry, and it changed me as a person. When I came to Pittsburgh to start graduate school 11 years ago, I had a lot to learn and a lot of growing up to do. I still do. I didn't realize it consciously, but I was looking for the wrong things in people. I really wanted in with the cool crowd. It's kind of silly once you see it, but at some point I started watching Harry, and here's something I now know to be true. It is so much better, so much more fun to spend time around people who are deeply, unapologetically uncool. Like Harry. Harry, thank you for being a role model to me, and other people too, for softening me, for helping me to see the best in other people. Being your friend has made me a more open person. One last tale to prove my point, which is, if you forgot that in times of great social upheaval, we look to the people around us who matter to figure out what matters and why. I visited Harry and Brian 3 years ago while they were shopping for a house. They got a call from a realtor that necessitated a really quick decision. If you've ever shopped for a house, you'll know what I'm talking about. Do we put a bid in on the house or not? Tick-tock. Have you ever seen a couple make a pro-con list on a dry erase board? I mean, in real life. Live in front of you. They made a major decision right there in front of me, working together, and they based it on reasons, shared reasons, spoken out loud, written down reasons. Maybe you don't doubt that marriage and love can cope with modern life as we know it. But if you do, ever, picture Harry and Brian surrounded by cats, reasoning through a complicated life decision using pure Vulcan logic. Things are going to be just fine. What will come from our times will be different. Our marriages and lives will be different, but they will be good too. Harry and Brian, there will be challenges. May I personally recommend Ruth Bader Ginsburg's perspective. In every good marriage, she once wrote, it helps to sometimes be a little bit deaf. I suspect that the strengths each of you bring to this marriage will go a fair way toward helping you build a life of adventure, growth, and love. I'm going to close with some verse that I've always loved, but feel is just slightly better for a little bit of tinkering. Though I speak with wisdom and enlightenment, but have not love, I am only a resounding gong or clanging cymbal. And though I have the gift of foresight and can understand science and all knowledge, and though I have reason that can reveal the universe around me, but have not love, I am nothing. Although I give all I possess to the poor and give my life to the service of mankind, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy. Love does not fret over gender. Love does not parade itself, has not arrogance, does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, is not easily provoked, and thinks no evil. Love does not choose sides, but rejoices in the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. Godspeed, gentlemen. Okay, before we get down to some pretty hardcore Marion, the couple has requested that we all pose for a wedding selfie. You're at Harry and Brian's wedding, folks. This is happening. Make your peace with it.
Yay! These guys? Hey, you guys.
Cool. Thank you. If you do not wish to be tagged in these photos, please time travel to the year 2002. Also, quickly, after the ceremony, we'd like to ask the wedding party and all family, including extended family, to congregate by that grassy knoll for photos. Harry and Brian have written their own vows, and we'll begin with Harry.
Okay, where do I start? Hey, baby. So I'm supposed to say something to you in front of all of these people and express my love, but everyone already knows I love everything and everyone. So I'm glad I don't have to cover that. You make me a better person. You ground me. You help me understand myself. And for those very reasons, I will always love you forever. I mean, you're the complete package. You're attractive, you're smart, you're funny, and most importantly, you're nerdy. I love that a good night for us is sitting on the couch, cuddling with the cats, watching reruns of our favorite nerdy TV shows, and it could be a Friday, and that's a good night for us. Now, let's talk about you. When I first met you, you'd always set yourself short of your potential because of these artificial walls you would build in your head. And over time, I've helped you tear down those walls. And I could not be more proud of the person that you've become today. And you constantly amaze me, and I love you for that. Over the years, you've been given several names. Brian, the most common designation. Bri, babe, baby, babe, Beyonce. After we got engaged, because fiancé was too long to say, so we just shortened it to Beyonce, but then Beyonce became Babonce. Bubby, Bub, Bubs. You have to give me credit, at least all of those start with B. With that said, I won't call you Bri-Bri, because I know how much you don't like being called that. Except for after today. After today, I get to give you a new name, husband. And we've already come up with names, nicknames, including Hussy, Hubby, Hub, Hubs, and so on. I'm sure there will be many more. I love when the internet isn't working and you hand me your laptop and you say, with a pouty face, I can't make this work. It's not going to the website. And you hand it to me and you're like, fix. And I'm like, okay. And then I look at it and I'm like, duh, your DNS cache is pointing to the wrong address and we need to flush it and repoint it. And then I love when I have a complex programming problem and I say the same thing to you. And I'm like, hey babe, fix, and you're like, oh, you put a semicolon in the wrong place. It's always a semicolon. I love how we can express complete sentences, emotions, and phrases with just a hum, like facial expression, hand gesture. And now that I've said all that, I want to be honest and tell you a few things that I cannot promise you. I can't ever promise you that I'm going to be on time. Everyone who knows me knows I'm late for everything. I don't know why time is such a hard concept to understand, but I will try. I can't promise, but I will try. I can't promise that I will always see eye to eye with you. It's actually very cute when we fight, because I've never had such logically well-structured, concise, well-tempered arguments with someone. And I love that we also have to verbally confirm, we're fighting, right? I can't promise you that every animal I see I think will be so cute and I want to take a picture of it and take it home with us. I understand we won't, but I can't promise that. I can't promise that I will want to take a picture or selfie of something. I stand by this because, as you know, our life is very well documented. I can promise to rub your nose every night and tell you that I love you. And I will always put my foot right next to you so you know that I'm right next to you. I can promise to always cook your favorite food. There's so many times I'm like, hey, what do you want to eat tonight? And he's like, food. So I will always make that for you.
I like it.
Yeah. I can promise that I will do my best to communicate my feelings and emotions. And I know I'm usually the one that helps you understand emotions, but I will always do my best to communicate how I'm feeling and everything in my life. I can promise to remind you that life is good and the little things that bother us are just background noise. I can promise that I will always snuggle with you after a rough day and get you a Diet Coke because that instantly makes you happy. And I will always snuggle with you and listen to you. I will always listen to you after you've had a rough day. And I can promise you that I will tell you when your outfit doesn't match. And when you, by the way, you look really good today. I promise that I will always be dedicated to you in this world and always hope for your success and help you in everything you want to do. Finally, you are my baby. I love you. I will always love you, forever and ever. That was the long version.
I should have gone first. I spent a lot of my life feeling lost, but now I understand that I was just looking for you, and I didn't know it yet. You light up every room you enter. Every morning is the best ever. Every picture of Brody is the cutest that has ever been taken by anyone.
It really is.
You help me see the best of the world around me. You were there for my darkest times, when I hated my job, and my back was failing me, and every day was painful. You were there for me. Every day you reminded me to not burn down the office, to push forward in building a happier career and taking control of my health and building a wonderful and beautiful life. I could never have come this far without you. I love you. I don't know what the future will bring, but I know I want to explore it with you. I want to travel the world with you. I want to have parties of ill-advised scale with you. I want every day to end with us holding each other in our arms and talking about how we feel. I swear that I will protect you for as long as I have strength in my body. I promise I will tell you how I'm feeling and even cry, though only in private or special occasions. I vow I will be there for you, wearing this ring, loving and cherishing you forever and ever.
Are we ready? Yeah?
I think so.
Okay. That was beautiful. Let us now exchange the rings. Scott, could we please have the first ring? Do you, Brian Robert Coulter, take Harry Russell Caskey to be your lawfully wedded husband, to be true to him in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health, for richer and for poorer, to grow and flourish with him as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Then take this ring and place it on Harry's finger as a symbol of your commitment.
Fits.
That does fit.
Jason, could we have a second ring? Do you, Harry Russell Caskey, take Brian Robert Coulter to be your lawfully wedded husband, to be true to him in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health, for richer, for poorer, to grow and flourish with him as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Then take this ring and place it upon Brian's finger as a symbol of your commitment.
It fits.
In the presence of your family and friends, and by the power invested in me by the United Federation of Planets, I now pronounce you gay married. You may now high five. Harry and Brian are married. So say we all.
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 Wait, we got someone migrating. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more. All right, you're free.
I'm going to need everyone to give a very warm welcome and round of applause for our grooms tonight. The newlyweds, Harry and Brian. Make some noise!
Brian and Harry just got married. Woo! Because they could get married. So thanks, Obama. So yeah, Brian Coulter, as in Ann Coulter, Ask him, next time you see him, ask him if they're related because he loves that question. And that's what you get for making me speak in public. But yeah, Brian and I have known each other for like 15 years, which is, yeah, almost half of our life now. That's crazy. Yeah, he's probably saved our college group from starvation several times because we're that group that will we're gonna go do something, but we don't have a plan, so we just walk in a direction, and then we realize we don't have a plan. So we'll stop on a street corner for more than an hour while Brian hops up and down and he's like, guys, we have to. So yeah, so that's Brian, which is what's great about him. He's motivated, he's a goer, he makes things happen. It's fantastic. We also get along because we have a very dark sense of humor, but it's okay because he's not actually going to light the kitten orphanage on fire. Shh. Shh. Only good things right now. Yeah. Smart and funny. But the thing is, you either already know Brian and you know all these wonderful things, or you know Harry and you know he's got a big brain and a big heart, and obviously he wouldn't choose to spend his life with somebody unworthy. So either way. So I know it's customary to wish the couple good luck, but I don't really hugely believe in that, so sorry if that's going to be somebody else's speech. I don't feel it's enough, because people don't exist in isolation, couples don't exist in isolation. It's not just like, hey, now it's you two forever and that's all you are, good luck. Because, just the two of us, that was Bonnie and Clyde, guess how that worked out. So I feel like instead of wishing you luck, I wish you support from me, from everyone here. Couples exist because they exist in a network of friends and family that support them and love them. So, Brian and Harry, as I am here for you now, I am here for you always. Cheers.
Okay, so I met Harry back in 2004 when we went to Pittsburgh Technical Institute. Yes, this is true. It's now called Pittsburgh Technical College. And I remember when he came, he was in my first period class, and I remember there was something unique about him. And whenever he came to class and everything, and I figured there was some characteristic, and I learned that he was late to everything, every first class. And then I later found out that it was because he runs on gay time. And so then we pretty much connected after that, and we got put in some projects together and things throughout school, and then we just got to be better friends. I remember I also used to work at Spencer Gifts, and he worked at Starbucks, which is close by. And so with homework and everything, I would go back and I would make sure that I would end up at Starbucks and then hang out there until he closed. And then I would take him back into the city and I'd drop him off and we'd talk and have good times there. And throughout our friendship, we've had parties, and we just had a whole bunch of friends that are all here now, and it's been great being your friend. And I remember the first time that I met Brian was in Washington, D.C., when Harry mentioned, he was like, so on the way back, my friend Brian's gonna come and he's gonna come back with us and whatever. And I was like, okay, great. And he really talked him up and everything. And I was like, this is different for Harry. And here we are. And he messaged me whenever Brian proposed to him in front of Stonewall, and he just sent a whole bunch of pictures and videos and everything, and it was so heartfelt, and I really loved it, and it was beautiful. And then ever since then, they've just been working on this and planning this. And it's been a whirlwind of emotions and everything. And it's just great to see everybody here, friends, family. It's just great. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, to a pair of great men. I love you guys.
He wrote a book. Is this going to be an excerpt?
Excerpt, yeah.
No, it's not. Hi. So the problem with going last is I'm going to hit a lot of the same notes. But anyway, I call this story Our First Date with Brian. Yeah, I'm telling it. I'm telling it. Anyway, I'm going to do this too. I'm going to do it all Sophia Petrillo style. Picture it, 2004, Los Angeles. I'm in my apartment. And every night on Saturday night, I would come home late and watch Poker After Dark. I thought by watching Poker After Dark, I would become a champion player. I thought by watching Phil Hellmuth, I would become excellent at it. It's a lot like watching baseball and expecting to be Roberto Clemente or something. I made a sports reference. Yeah, how about that? I did research. So then, I had moved to Pittsburgh after that and come here after a series of unfortunate events that would put Lemony Snickers in a twist. But when I got here, it was great because I met Michael and Jason and then Harry and then Brian. And it was fantastic. A new group of people that I loved hanging out with and being with. And I remember one time Harry and Michael and I and a couple people, we went to the bar, like you do. And we were there, and it was poker night. And we didn't really know much about poker. Apparently, Phil Ivey and Jennifer Harmon taught me nothing about the game. So I remember Brian patiently waiting with Harry and me and teaching us the game. And I should have noticed the sparks right then. There were sparks really right on, But, Harry was dating somebody else, my friend Chris. So it was like, okay, whatever, So I left. And a couple weeks later, I invited a whole bunch of people to see Avenue Q, okay? So a whole bunch I'm telling it. I told you I'm telling it. I know. So I'm like, we go to Papa J's. Moment of silence for Papa J's. It's gone now. Not a big one. It's not that good. We went there, and Harry walks in with Brian. And I'm like, oh, poker guy. Hey, guy from volleyball. You're going to hear a lot of stories about volleyball probably tonight. If you talk to any of these people, the word volleyball is going to be spike up into that conversation. Spike up. Yeah. I use words for a reason. Okay. He walks in with Harry and Brian, walk in together, and I'm like, oh, great. And we're sitting around, we're having such a good time. I text Chris and say, hey, Chris, come on out. We're having a blast. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm the original bad idea bear. Avenue Q reference. So anyway, Harry pulls me aside and says, look, here's the deal. Chris and I broke up, and I'm actually here on my first date with Brian. That's my Harry impression. Yes. Yeah, I nailed that. Yes. Okay. So, and I'm like, whoops. So I turned their first date into a sitcom, you guys. So if they survive that little monkey wrench, who knows what they'll be able to do. So the thing is, I should have noticed the sparks. I'm telling you, I saw sparks. I should have noticed them. Harry, you have no poker face. It all comes back to the poker. And that was a Lady Gaga reference. Those are easy. But then not too long ago, as Jason said, there was a day in June last year where I got a text, and then we all know what happened on the other end of that text, don't we? We've all seen it. We've all seen the video. Brian on one knee in front of the Stonewall Inn proposing. And then I, too, cried because I also have no poker face. But the thing is, and I think back to that first night playing poker, I think to myself, just like in Texas Hold'em, I had absolutely no idea I was there with such an excellent pair. So please, raise your glass. I wish them lots of love, happiness, dirty Muppets, whatever else. Yes, dirty Muppets. I love you both, and congratulations. And I'm so glad to be a part of it. Oh yes.
At this time, we're going to have a blessing of the food from Doug Cloud.
I don't think that's such a good idea. I'm supposed to bless the food? Am I in my own nightmare? Okay. Am I blessing the couple or the food? What do we pick? One, both? Okay. Let's take a minute to reflect on what solemn joy, but also great humor and enthusiasm we feel being together with so many loved ones, and also this couple for whom we see clear horizons and wonderful surprises, adventures, great things to come. And it'll all be on social media. You can rest assured. So let's thank one another, the couple, all of the people who've traveled here from far and wide to celebrate this joyous and blessed day. And let's thank your higher power, if and however you define it. Harry and Brian, Godspeed.
The stars shining bright above you. The night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Stay nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you miss me. While I'm alone and blue as can be, dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of, dream a little dream of, dream a little dream of.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a round of applause for Harry and Brian right now.
trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They're like much more than I ever knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
She used to be my enemy and never let me be free, catching me in places that I knew I shouldn't be. Every other day I crossed the line, I didn't mean to be so bad. I never thought you would become your friend, I never would. I didn't know why you were misunderstood. So now I see through your eyes, all that you did was love. Mama, I love you. Mama, I care. Mama, I love you. Mama, my
Let's give a round of applause for Harry and his mother tonight.
Everybody clap your hands. Come on, y'all. Check it out, y'all. How low can you go? Can you crisscross? Crisscross. Cha-cha, real smooth. Can you bring it to the top? Like you never stop? Can you bring it to the top? One hop. Right foot now. Left foot now, y'all. Cha-cha, real smooth. Front, back, front. Turn it out. Reverse, reverse. Cha-cha. to the right. Slide to the left. Take it back now, y'all. Cha-cha now, y'all.
Bringing it down, bringing it down. Stay down, stay down. All right, bring it back up. All right, we're gonna hear you guys sing it. Let's go. single women, we need you guys out on the dance floor tonight. We're doing a spin-off of the Bouquet and garter toss right now. Harry and Brian are going to be throwing flash drives. Who knows what's on them? I don't know what's on them. Could be anything. But anyways, we need all the single men, all the single women. If you are a single, unmarried human, all right, I think we got enough people. All right, do you guys want a countdown? So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Well, we lost some feathers, lost some flowers. Oh, they split in two. All right, let's get a round of applause for our winners who caught the flash drives right now.
Trust me, I'm my I-N-D-E-P-E-N-D-E-N-T hustler. Chasing dreams since I was 14 with the pork chop busting. Halfway across that city with the black question. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. Give that to the people, spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people, spread it across the country. Here we go back to the fourth quarter.